My name is Liam.
Who did you say you wanted to be like?
I just wanted to be like Mikhail Baryshnikov, my hero. I'm not sure if they got the whole thing, but I was at this performance. Oh, here I am. A little intermediate still, so that's my story in ballet and some other things about me.
And step, step, step. Now pull up, Sarah. Now switch.
Kind of miraculous, the progress I've made with Bonnie, because when I first came to her, I couldn't walk across the studio floor without falling over.
All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Yes! Yeah, that's all right. Let's try again.
I was actually diagnosed with DMT, which I'm pray to God that it's not that, because it's a degenerative nerve disease. I was really heartbroken. I mean, I broke down to Bonnie, I broke down to my physical therapist. Nerve connection from my brain to my legs isn't very up to date. It needs an upgrading. Sometimes I feel there's just too much joy inside of me, and I have to do something about it, so I dance.
So many of these kids, and I would say more of their parents, they never thought that their children will get the opportunity to perform. And every parent wants to see their child prosper and be happy and have the same opportunities as any kid. So to have them on stage is a huge goal for so many families. Impossible, they thought, for so long.
Like, there is an entire human being behind and within this. Good job. Can I hear you all clap? Good job. Stickers. Everybody has some sort of access point that once we connect with that, we can just use it as a springboard for everything else.
We're just sitting here sighing over how beautiful those little faces are, right?
Aren't they? Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you. I want to introduce you to everybody. This is Dancing Dan Watt,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that that's what everybody calls you? Dancing Dan.
Dancin Dan. Yeah.
Which is a fabulous thing. And you are in the midst of producing a documentary that's Ballet for All Kids and documenting what this amazing thing can do. Talk to us about what the mission is and what it is that you guys want to accomplish.
Well, what I was doing is I wanted to document how the arts help kids.
Yeah.
And I used to teach dance about 15 years ago, and I taught 2 autistic girls and treated them like anybody else in the class. They were just 2 other girls, and I had a dream about them. And I thought, why am I dreaming about these girls 15 years later? And then I had another dream about them. Mm-hmm. And I believe that that's a message. That things like that don't just pop into your head. So that to me was my sign of what my documentary should be. So I started doing research on how dance, because I used to be a dancer and a dance teacher, helps kids with different developmental disabilities. And I found this school up here in the Valley called Ballet for All Kids. So I went and observed the class, and I fell in love with Bonnie, the founder, and also all the kids. And I said, you know, I'd love to document these kids and their journey and how what they learn in dance, the discipline, you know, repetitiveness, all that stuff, and how it helps them with self-esteem and all that. And she said, well, next week I'm making the announcement that we're doing a recital. And I was like, in a week?
Yeah.
So I put a camera crew together. I wanted to be there for that announcement and then just capture the kids' journey from that point on.
Okay.
For, you know, so the journey of the kids and the families. And the parents and the kids are just so supportive. Yeah. We go to their houses and go out to dinner with them, out to lunch, and we just then explore their journey of what they've learned and how they can apply it in everyday life. But then the cherry on the cake is, at the end of the documentary, we get to see them perform.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. And so where are you in terms of making the documentary now?
Well, we just finished filming the recital.
Okay.
So we've got that under our belt, but we're at the point now where it just costs so much for editing and for music rights. get a composer to tie it all together. There's all the, there's the post-production expenses, and that's where we're at right now. And we just need funding to finish it. And I had talked to a few people about it, and what is really, really interesting and touching right now is I'm getting a lot of response from kids.
Yeah.
And there was a school in Orange County called the Golden Elementary School, and the teacher's name is Anne Ragu, and it's 2nd grade, and she saw the clip that you just showed,
Right.
and they put on a dance-a-thon at the school to raise money to finish the movie.
How nice.
And it was just, I went down there and watched, and it was just so heartfelt, and the kids were just so adorable and so into it. Each one of them made a poster or a card for me, and one of the girls drew these ballerinas, and she said, all kids should dance.
Yeah. Is this what she said?
Yeah, well, and then that's another adorable one where,
Okay.
if you look where it is, her last line is, it is important because different kids have different needs, and it's just
Heartwarming.
Oh, yeah. I got in the car and I cried.
Yeah.
And they raised money, and now because of that, there's a dance studio in Ohio called Studio 82.
Uh-huh.
It's in North Royalton or Strongsville, something like that, and they're now going to do a dance fundraiser, part of their summer program.
Oh.
So I think it's just so cool that it's kids supporting kids.
Yes.
And I thought, what a great way if there's Girl Scout troops, Brownie troops,
Yes.
Boy Scouts, other dance studios to just do that. And then this movie is finished because kids supported kids.
Yeah.
I'm getting teary-eyed again
Oh
right
my
now.
gosh, I'm already teary-eyed. Well, and you have to know when you get that kind of affirmation that you're doing something really good and really relevant and important. If kids are saying, I want to support to get this done, that's, that you have to know that you're doing the right thing, right?
Well, I think so. I truly think so. And I think a big turning point for me was at the holiday time. And I was shopping at Target, and I'd been filming the kids since September or August or September. And I'm walking through doing my shopping, and there was this girl having a little conniption on the floor, and her mom there, and I walked by with my cart, and I thought, I wonder if she's on the spectrum. And I just kept shopping. And then it hit me. I thought, look how your thoughts changed. I didn't judge the girl. I didn't go, what a brat. I didn't judge the mom and go, what is wrong with this mom? Why is she not disciplining her kid?
Yeah.
The thought that popped in my head was, oh, I wonder if she's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's the message of this movie. Me just being around them for the months that I was around them and being aware and educated and going out to lunch with these kids and their parents, and I thought, that's it. That's the message. That's what I need to get across to America and the world with this movie, is that
It's powerful.
yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
We always talk about awareness, and but it's hard to get to. It's really hard to get to. But we all see that film is a medium that enlightens. It really does. That most people are willing to sit down and watch something if it's entertaining for a few minutes. And I don't know what's more entertaining than kids. And kids learning how to dance. I mean, let's be honest. It's like cat videos. We're drawn to
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can't hardly help. I mean, when we just, a few minutes ago, you and I were talking, and you and I both have seen that clip before, but we totally stopped talking and we're engrossed.
Yeah.
Because to see the emotions on the kids' faces and to see how happy they are and how engaged they are, it's sort of impossible to look away.
Yeah.
And it's a positive thing. How many negative things are out there? This is a positive thing. What an amazing thing that you're doing. But so how, Dan, for people that are watching who maybe don't have a dance studio, is there a way that they can contribute and can help? Are you taking donations from run-of-the-mill people?
Yeah, anybody can donate. If you go to there's a longer clip than the one that we showed you for time purposes. It's at DancinDanProductions.com. And you can donate there. And we got a nonprofit organization called the Art Attack Foundation, who is accepting all the donations and overlooking the funds and controlling it. And what is amazing is that there, you can do a Kickstarter. There's all those things that I was thinking about, how to raise money, and those are all valuable and important things to do. But there's fees involved, and there's other nonprofits that will come on and support you for their fee, and they go between 9% and 13%. The Art Attack Foundation is taking 0.
That's wonderful.
So all money donated goes to finishing the movie.
That's amazing.
And I just, again, to have the support, because people have seen the footage of these adorable kids, and you make a $10 donation. Talking about, again, those kids in Orange County and the second graders, after they went out with their, I guess, their little forms and, asked their neighbors and their, grandma, there were a few names where you could see grandma wrote the check and mom wrote a check, but they loved the project. A little boy came up to me and gave me the change in his pocket. He goes, "Here's a little more that I have today." And I was like, oh. And I said, "Well, honey, that's your lunch money." He goes, "No, I brought my lunch." And
Sweet.
yeah, so anybody can donate, and that's where it's like, is there a Girl Scout troop that would do a fundraiser? You know, you raise $50, you donate 10, you raise 5,000. I mean, it's just.
It's all good.
It's just to get the stories of these absolutely amazing kids told, and I think it needs to be told, and I think not just the awareness, because this also changed with me. There was April was Autism Awareness Month, but is it awareness, or are we at the point now that it's all acceptance?
Exactly.
So it's.
Exactly.
Because everybody's aware. So now I think we need to get to that point of acceptance. And these kids, they're dancing. They're doing a dance recital, like all dance studios should do.
Right.
They take class, and then they do their recital. And they have to practice at home.
Yes.
And then, being a former dancer, it was my discipline that I learned in class. I used for doing homework, doing everything, creating a schedule, and that's what these kids do, and with their parents,
Amazing. And so we in the footage that you have, we get to see all the ways this is affecting the rest of their life as well.
Exactly. We do one-on-ones at the homes. We got some amazing, amazing parents who sat down with me, and grandparents who shared their stories. Some moms and dads. There's one father who shared. It'll be in the clip on my website on Dancin Dan Productions, where he talks about what it was like for him. You have a kid who's autistic, but then you have a son who's autistic who wants to take ballet. So there's that. Oh, my son wants to take ballet. And then he took him to the class and saw how excited he was, and how it just made him light up, and then how everything in his life, I hate to say got better, but he, with the discipline and the self, everything just blossomed. That for the father to share that story and say that, look how this has changed my son's life.
Remarkable.
And how that then opened his heart even more. So it's just.
Which then becomes a domino effect for everything, because then he's talking about it in the film. And, we know that there are dads who need to see that.
Right, exactly.
That they need to see and understand that what they're feeling, that they're not alone, and that that's a feeling that you can move through.
Right.
The whole idea of seeing your kid for who they truly are in all their splendor and all their glory, and accepting who that little person is. Which, whenever we see, our whole program today is about the arts and autism, and how the arts support our kids. I'm a big proponent of the arts, period, whether it's autism or something else, because I think that everyone needs to have art. It's what defines a society. Right?
Oh, definitely.
And it's a way in which we can agree when we don't agree. We can experience something together. It brings us back to our humanity. It allows us to have our emotions. I loved when Guillermo del Toro said, at the Academy Awards this year, he got up and he said, for those of you who think that you can't tell the stories about what's happening in a fantastic way, I'm paraphrasing, he said, look again. Because it's a way to educate, it's a way to entertain, it's a way to tell our stories outside of ourselves so that we can hear it. Why would we cheat our kids out of that, right?
Exactly.
And why would we cheat our special needs kids out of that? They have as much or more need to have that as anybody else because it's a way to communicate.
Yeah.
Amazing. So tell us the website again where we need to go to donate and where we can find out more information.
It's DancingDanProductions.com.
Okay.
And there's the longer clip there.
Okay.
And there's also a donate button that then takes you to the Art Attack website.
Okay. And again,
which is a nonprofit, so your donation is tax deductible.
Yes, which we all want. You can put that on your taxes, but it's also a way of knowing that it's secure and safe, and you're not having to pay a fee for it because almost any place else you'd have to pay. Part of your fee would go to people who aren't doing the thing that you want done.
Right.